Hey, hi, hello, and welcome. I'm Court. This is Reading with Court. And if you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new, welcome back. I'm glad you keep tuning in. So, this is going to be a vlog. And specifically, as you can tell from the thumbnail and the title, this is going to be a vlog revolving around Kindle Unlimited picks. So, if you don't know, which I don't know how you wouldn't know, but Kindle Unlimited is a service offered through Amazon where you can pay whatever the monthly fee is and you get access to a whole bunch of titles, mostly indie published from what I am aware of, but please don't quote me on that. But I have been really enjoying using my Kindle Unlimited subscription this year, and I'm going to keep doing it. So for this video, I have 4 books that I have chosen to read. They are either ones that have been on my radar for a while, or they are ones that I have been told I would really like, and there's just a whole bunch. Now, I personally suffer from decision paralysis, hence the spinner wheel, but I can't use the spinner wheel every vlog because then that gets boring. So in this particular case, I used 1-star reviews to decide what I'm reading. And that ended up with me, scrolling the Goodreads bad reviews, getting a little bit of dread, and finding what I thought was the funniest review for each book. I will put the poll yes in here somewhere. But the 4 reviews are: this book could kill a Victorian child. Jesus effing Christ, I wish I was illiterate. DNF at I'm your daddy because no. And the last one is book talk will look you dead in the eyes and lie to you. So 8 of my friends voted on this poll, and the winner was book talk will look you dead in the eyes and lie to you. So that is the book we'll be reading, which sounds like a glowing review, of course. But the book that I will be reading first in this vlog is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent, aka the first book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. Now, I personally am really excited to get into this because it's one of the more hyped romances that I haven't really had a chance to look at, and I'm excited to be able to read this. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know that actually filming this today, the newest book in the series comes out. I'm looking to get caught up relatively quickly, but we'll see how that goes because at my core, I'm a mood reader. But I know it takes place in a town that I cannot pronounce. Thank you to the amazing readathon for that info, or city, town. Same difference, I'll find out soon. And it's about vampires. And from the little bit that I did read at an appointment the other day, the vampires are they're different from other vampires that we've dealt with in media. And I'm excited to learn more about that. I'm excited to learn about our main character. And I'm just excited to have another fantasy world to escape into. So I'm off to read this book, and I will be back when I have an update, whenever that may be. So I am about 20% into The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which is, as we know, my first book for this vlog. But I also realized that I never really said what the book was about because I had no idea what the book was about. So, The Serpent and the Wings of Night is about the adopted human daughter of the night-born vampire king, Araya, carved her place in a world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something more than prey is entering the Kajari, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. But winning won't be easy amongst the most vicious warriors from all 3 vampire houses. To survive, Araya is forced to make an alliance with a mysterious rival. Everything about Rain is dangerous. He is a ruthless vampire, an efficient killer, an enemy to her father's crown, and her greatest competition. Yet, what terrifies Araya the most of all is that she finds herself oddly drawn to him. But there's no room for compassion in the Kajari. War for the House of Night brews, shattering everything that Araya thought she knew about her home, and Rain may understand her more than anyone. But their blossoming attraction could be her downfall, in a kingdom where nothing is more deadly than love. So, it's a romantasy, it's vampires, and at the point where I'm at, I'm really enjoying plot, world, characters. Everything that you need to classify a good book, I'm feeling it. I like that the vampires are not what we've seen before. They obviously have those components of like things every vampire has. They drink blood, they can't go in the sun, but it's more diverse. There's the three different branches, the Hiaj, the I can't remember, and the Bloodborne. The one in the middle is the one with the feathered wings. That part I remember. I'll have the name again by the next update. But I really like that everything is so different, and you can tell there's like this almost civil war situation. And then the trial itself is like super cool. I like that it's based around the moon. I like that no one can be prepared for it. Overall, I'm having a really good time just getting to know these characters, this everything. I really like Oriah. She definitely has a bit of a special snowflake syndrome, but that's not her personality, it's more her circumstance. Because like, to be the only human raised by vampires, obviously there's something special about you. The vampire king had to see something for you to be someone that they pulled in. And as for Rain, I just really enjoy a snarky male character. Specifically, like, there's one scene where she tries to tell him to get out of where she is because she is worried that he's going to hurt her and she doesn't trust him. Because, of course, it's a romantasy. It's kind of... It seems like it's going to be enemies to reluctant allies to lovers. But he goes... She tells him to get out. He's like, I brought you something. And she re-emphasizes get out. And he just goes, well, that's rude, and sits down anyway. And that's my vibe in MMC. So I am very excited to see more of him, more of her, more of them as a unit. And to honestly see how the trials go. Because I know this is the first in a whole world, in a whole series. But in the same vein, I know that this is a series of duologies. I know that the characters I'm with now are not going to be the ones that I am with for the whole story. And I'm a little upset about that now, but I'm sure that once I read more and get into the other worlds, that I will not feel that way. Because, like, I love an interconnected story. And I'm sure that that's what this will end up being, just with a fantasy component instead of a contemporary romance component. So I'm going to go back to reading. I am going to start part 3 of the book, aka Waning Moon. And I will be back when I have more to say. That is a thing. I'm trying to get better about not like having to do it at certain percentages. I just want to come talk to you guys when I have thoughts. And trying to be less no thoughts, head empty when I'm reading to help with the whole vlogging process. But that's a tangent that you guys didn't really need to hear. But I'm going to go read, and I'll see you later. Okay, hi. I'm at 54% in Serpent and the Wings of Night, the crescent moon. I am feeling things. Let me get my life together here. So I'm on sprints, which is why I'm filming on my phone. But I just read the Half Moon Trial, and I am not okay. There will be a clip of me in the sprint with my jaw dropped. I might even like insert it somewhere around here so you can see it, but a thing happened and I full on lost it. I mind boggled. I love this story. These characters have gotten me so like, I'm so impressed with these characters and this writing and this world and the trials. And every time I think I have things figured out, I learn something new. And it's not what I thought it was anymore. And I just, wow. Like, I know wow is not a good descriptor, but like to get into details of why I am feeling the way I feel, I would have to spoil parts of the book. But if you have not read this book, please do. I know that I am probably one of the last people to read it, as I am with most popular books. But oh my god, I exist in this world. Also, sorry about the air conditioner. It's 93 degrees. I'm not turning it off to film. But back to what I was kind of talking about. Learning a little bit about Rain's story, learning about, I'm saying Mish, I don't know if that's right. learning little bit about her story, and then knowing that she comes next is very interesting. And I am excited to explore. I'm excited to learn about Araya and why she can do some of the things that she absolutely should not be able to do, and yet here we are. I'm invested in Vincent and his story. Do I trust him? Absolutely not. But I am very interested and invested in the story and what they're doing with him. And I want to keep talking about how much I love it, but I also want to shut up so I can go read. So you are either going to see me when I have more things to yell about, or you're going to see me when I finish the book and definitely have more things to yell about. So I'm going back to it. Have a great 2 seconds before you see the next clip. Okay, so I have just finished The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and that, yeah. The ending of this book threw me for a loop. Like, the last 10% or so was just twist after twist after twist, and that trying to be coherent and put actual thoughts together, that book might be one of my favorite new reads of the year so far. I don't know what that book was in the best way possible. I loved the characters every time I got into it. I loved the story, the trials, the twist after twist after twist. Like, it was just, yes. I now have a bunch more books in the series to read. And while I don't love having a new series on my reading journey, I have a feeling that this will be one that I prioritize. And I'm looking forward to it. Overall, this was a 5-star read. Every time I was in it, I was glued. The only reason I wasn't picking it up like consistently was just because I was working and I was exhausted. But I loved this book. I will probably be picking up the next one relatively soon, but holy crap, guys. I am gonna go pick my next book. I have a current poll going of 1-star reviews. The options are: I'm bleaching this book from my memories, I want to give you a 0, but that's not possible, and was waiting for you to be great. So after those votes come in, I will be back with my choice and some updates. And now I'm going to go spiral about The Serpent and the Wings of Night to anyone who will listen. Okay, so the results are in. I have not started reading the book yet, but I did want to share what the book is and what we will be reading before I jump in with updates. So, the 3 1-star reviews that were given from my remaining book options were: I'm bleaching this book from my memories, I wanted to give you a 0, but that's not possible, and I was waiting for you to be great. So this poll got 12 votes, and 6 of them were for I'm bleaching this book from my memories. And that means that for the next book in this vlog, I will be reading Morning Glory Milking Farm by C.M. Nescosta. Now, this is, from what I understand, like a Minotaur monster romance situation. And I've been told I'm either going to love it or I'm going to hate it. I don't know which. I'm just here for the vibes. So, Violet is a typical down-on-her-luck millennial, mid-20s, overeducated, and drowning in debt. Same, minus the mid-20 part. On the verge of moving into her parents' basement, when a lifeline appears in the form of a very unconventional job in neighboring Cambric Creek. She has no choice but to grab at it with both hands. Morning Glory Milking Farm offers full-time hours, full benefits, and generous pay with no experience needed. There's only one catch. The clientele is grade A certified prime beef with the manly, meaty endowments to match. Milking minotaurs isn't something Violet ever considered as a career option, but she's determined to turn the opportunity into a reversal of fortune. When a stern, deep-voiced client begins to specially request her for his milking sessions, maintaining her professionalism and keeping him out of her dreams is easier said than done. Violet is resolved to make a dent in her student loans and afford name-brand orange juice, and a one-sided crush on an out-of-her-league minotaur is not a part of her plan, unless her feelings aren't so one-sided after all. So that's a book I'll be reading. I'm Definitely scared of it just because it sounds unhinged and I don't know what the vibes are going to be when I read it. But I am going to go into actually reading it with an open mind and we'll see where it goes. And we'll see if I enjoy it. Maybe it'll be a new quick guilty pleasure. But yeah, so I will be back when I have read probably 50%, unless I have feelings early, because it's like less than 300 pages. So, but yeah, that's book 2 for the Kindle Unlimited vlog. So, here's the thing. When I filmed the clip about picking my book and revealing, sorry, I'm gonna close Discord while I record. Revealing, what book I was reading, I was like, all right, I will be back in, 50% with an update. So you're looking at this clip thinking, wow, she got to 50%. Not wow, I mean, you don't know how much time it took. I am here to tell you I have completely finished Morning Glory Milking Farm. I read it from start to finish in one sitting, only taking breaks to do like chatting in the sprints that I'm on right now. And yeah, it was clearly a good time. I will go into my thoughts in a minute, but I am giving it 3.5 stars because like I enjoyed it a lot. It wasn't a 5-star by any means. It could have been a 4, but as I was reading it, there were a lot of like weird spelling and grammar things that probably should have been caught in editing. But I mean, I was able to look over it and enjoy the rest of the story. Now, speaking of the story, tell me why this relationship between a human and a minotaur was healthier than some of the contemporary romances that I read. I would love to know the answer to that. Yeah, I went into this book nervous. I will completely admit that. I had to literally mentally prepare myself for reading it because I didn't know what I was getting into. I knew based on, that cover and based on what I had heard about it that it was certainly going to be something. But I went into it open-minded, and clearly I had a great time. It was purely monster smut vibes the entire way through, which I didn't think was going to be something I was into. I fully expected to DNF this book when I was reading it. But then I kept flipping and flipping and flipping, and then all of a sudden I was done. And I had genuinely enjoyed myself. So, with that being said, let's go into a little more I'm very fascinated by some of the side characters. I loved learning about Rourke's neighbor and her partner. I liked learning about the vampire. I can't remember her name right now. It's too many consonants for me to know how to pronounce it. But Violet became best friends with a vampire, and there was just a lot of community. And it was really cool seeing how this world was built. And I was on Goodreads looking at reviews because I was curious what other people were thinking. And someone's review just posts the picture of the police chief from Zootopia and was like, this is what I'm thinking of when I read this book. And they specified not that they thought the main male character was that police chief, but that the world reminded them of mythical creature Zootopia. And now, with that thought in mind, I am very excited to read the rest of the series, because that's the crazy part. This isn't just one and done. This is an entire series. There's 5 books and a novella. So I'm going to keep going, and not right now, obviously, but I am going to continue with this series for now. See what other species are out there, what other combinations, I guess, for lack of a better word. Because it could be, every single one is human falls in love with insert monster here, which could get boring, but there's a lot of options. And I'm going to stop rambling about monster smut and tell you about my next book. So, as I have done for every book that I've read so far, all 2 of them, because I made that sound like I read way more than I have, I've given my friends 2 1-star review snippets for them to choose from. So, for this one, I had written by a 16-year-old girl, or not girl, written by a 16-year-old with an obvious masochism kink, and the writing is bad, and I don't have the patience for it. Now, I should ideally be reading both of these books in the span of this vlog, but with 4 out of 7 votes, the book that won is written by a 16-year-old with an obvious masochism kink, And with that, I will be reading the first book in the Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. So I'm going to go get started on that. Actually, I'm probably not right now. I need to go to bed because I go back to work tomorrow after being off for a week. But I'm going to read that, and I'll be back with an update. And I should actually remember to update this time because I'm not just sitting here reading. Okay, hello. I am here with a bed update for Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. So I have reached the 50% mark of this book, and I'm having a fantastic time. I have only sat down to read it twice, and I'm already halfway through it. There's something about this story. I don't know if there's crack in this book. I don't know. I just know I'm having the best time. These characters are very interesting in a bunch of different ways. The heirs and the twins do feel a little too picture perfect, but I'm kind of okay with it because they're making up for it in other ways. But I'm interested to see where the plot goes, where everything goes, because I like the characters, I like the magic system. I'm really enjoying the exploration of the different orders and trying to figure out where Tori and Darcy fit in. I'm intrigued by the heirs and I want to get more of their story because when I read Origins of an Academy Bully, I was already intrigued by Darius. And now to see him older and honestly jerkier and all this, I want to get more of their point of view as opposed to just the girls. So I know there's a whole book where it's the first book from their perspective, and with the read along I'm doing, I'll get to it eventually. But part of me is hoping that as the series goes on, we'll expand beyond Darcy and Tori, which, not that I have a problem with their point of views at all, because I really do enjoy what I'm getting. I just am almost wishing for more. It's also interesting to see, having read the novella before I read The Awakening, it's interesting to see how much Orion has changed, because he feels like a completely different character. But if you've read the novella, you do understand why he is how he is in this book, because they put him through the ringer. And if you haven't read it, you should. We're at 50%. We're having a blast, and I'm gonna go make breakfast, maybe clean a little bit. I don't know, I'm off work for about a week before I have to go back like full time. So I'm just trying to read, vibe, clean, all the things. But not that any of what I'm doing besides filming this update matters, because as soon as I'm done filming this, well, not filming it, but as soon as you watch this, you're gonna see the next clip without knowing if it's been 2 hours or 3 days before I film the next one. So I'll be back. Hello. It's been a while. For you, it hasn't been a while. For me, it's been a while. But I have finished Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. I don't like how far back I am. Let me start over. Okay. So I finished the first Zodiac Academy book, and I am giving it 4 stars. The only thing I thought of, well, not the only thing I thought of, but the one big thing I was thinking about while reading it was how much I wanted this to be a why choose, even though the heirs are all jerks. I love them all. And I'm excited to see where things go. Like, obviously go into this story knowing it's a bully romance, and there's not even romance yet. You just know it's building to that. But there's some dark bully hazing stuff in this book, which is to be expected because that is what it's been marketed as and what people are calling it. But overall, I had a really good time. I don't remember where I last updated, but I read the last 50% of this today while sprinting, and I enjoyed myself. This is for sure a crack in the pages kind of book, and I already want to pick up the sequel because I need to know what happens. It ended on kind of a cliffhanger, and I was starting to wonder, this is a 9-book main series with 2 spin-off series. I was trying to figure out where we were going because I couldn't see the whole plot of we're the heirs, we don't want you to have the throne. I couldn't see that going for this many books. Because, no. But you're starting to see the real plot come out. And obviously there's still that element of like, we want the throne, you can't have it. But I'm hoping at some point either they come to an understanding or the guys realize that Tori and Darcy don't give a crap. They just want the money and to live their lives and be on their way. They don't care about ruling this country they know nothing about. But I will say I am obsessed with the siren lore here and how they like feed on emotion and stuff like that. And it's just really cool to me because I'm sure I've seen it somewhere, but it really stood out as something for me in this book specifically. But I really am excited to keep going with this series. And I'm doing the read along with Vanessa at Read with Dr. B. So I will be reading this series for the next 2 years, trying to do a book a month while we like progress through it, because I know the later books are like over 1,000 pages. So it's kind of crazy. But I really did enjoy learning about these characters and seeing their dynamics. And I really liked little things that like threw back to Origins of an Academy Bully, because there was a scene in that where Darius is being convinced that he needs to marry this girl who is his like, I think they said second cousin, and all they talk about is how ugly she is because, I mean, it's terrible. They are terrible people, but they like, it's such a big thing. And then I was kind of laughing when that got brought up in this book. And it's just something that like, whether you read it, whatever order you read it in, it's cool that there's those little connections that you're only going to see if you read both. But that is a wrap on Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. And now I am going to, I'm going to make dinner, I think, because there's 25 minutes in this sprint that we're on. And I don't really want to start a new book with that little bit of time. So I'm going to do a dinner and YouTube break. But none of that matters to you because as soon as this clip's over, you're going to see the next one. But the next book I'm reading is the book that, funny enough, kept losing all the polls, but is the book of the 4 in this vlog that people are most excited for me to read. So, starting in the next clip, you will see me talking about House of Bane and Blood by Alexis L. Menard, and I'm so excited to read it. So I will be back with an update. It could be tonight, it could be in 7 to 10 business years, who knows? For you, it's gonna happen right now. No joke, I've been working on this vlog for over a month, and I am slowly but surely cruising through. Anyway, moving on. So I have just reached about, I think like 25% in House and Bane and Blood. I'm on chapter 11, I know that much. And the POV is just starting to switch to Nico. Yes, 27%. And I'm having a really good time. That may be hard to believe considering how long it's taking me to read this book. But let's just factor in a few things. Mostly the school year started, grad school started, and I am getting my butt kicked by life. I also got my first Book Babe order. So I got this t-shirt. I got, well, you can see the one crew neck there. Then there's another one there. Because I put them out to take a picture and never moved them. But you're not here to talk about that. That's going to be a separate video. Probably. Maybe. We'll see. But House of Bane and Blood. Let's talk about it. This is I think it's a fantasy romance. I don't think it's like a romantasy technically. I don't know. There's some subtle difference that people way more informed than me can get into. But I'm having a really good time in this world. Like, there's remnants and descendants, and I don't entirely know what any of that means. I need to just sit down and read and figure it out. But there is Camilla and there is Nico, and they are in an arranged marriage, which, buzzword, where Nico basically, like, pulled her out from under a different arranged marriage to gain control of her family's train railway system because it's like super important and super beneficial. But the story so far has kind of been like Camilla ingraining herself in the world that she's in now and getting to know Nico a little bit, his family, his business, all those fun things. And I'm intrigued by the characters. I think they've got a lot to say, and I'm excited to see them connect more, because right now it's a lot of just snark and back and forth and that kind of thing, which I am enjoying, like, a lot, because that is a buzzword for me. But I'm excited to see where they go. I'm excited to see the plot build, basically, because there's a bunch of different organizations and names and vocab thrown at you throughout this first 27%. And I'm looking forward to figuring out what it all means and seeing it pieced together and building this world, basically. But here we are. So that is my first not very detailed update on House of Bane and Blood, because somebody, it's me, is adjusting to reading again, because the school year is hardcore kicking my butt already. Actually, it's 9:40 on a Saturday morning, and I'm getting ready to go into work and get some prep work done and try to just tread my way out of drowning. But I am doing dots and boxes on Lexi's Patreon today, so I'm hoping I can make a healthy dent in House of Bane and Blood and maybe even finish it today or tomorrow. But it's been taking me so long to read it that I have been given a deadline by Mel of Monday afternoon, or Monday evening. So I have to be done with this book by September 15th for my own brain. Like, there's no punishment or anything if I don't finish it, but it's just, I thought it was funny. We were watching Stranger Things. I'm like, guys, I need to finish this. Give me a date. And that's what was decided. So I will be back when I have an update, when I have more thoughts, and I will see you soon. So I did the thing again. Thing where I'm working on a vlog. Wow, that's supposed to have an F in it. That's a problem for future me. Anyway, I forgot I was vlogging. I was gonna come back sooner, but I'm at 67% of House of Bane and Blood. I have to finish it tonight because I was given my deadline, and I'm gonna reach it because I have 20 to 30 minutes before my class starts, so I'll probably hit like 70%. And then after class, I'm going to make dinner and then finish the book. But that's not what you're here for, because you're just going to watch the clips or not, or whatever vibes we're feeling. So in terms of House of Bane and Blood and how I'm feeling, I'm obsessed. I don't know if we're necessarily at like those 5-star feelings quite yet. We're pretty close, but I love Camilla, don't get me wrong, but starting to get Nico's point of view and seeing like their stories side by side has definitely increased my interest, so to speak. I'm starting to understand the magic a lot more, which is good, because that is what was kind of like taking me out of the story earlier in my reading journey. I love this book, these characters. I'm going to try not to wait too long to read the second book in the duology, just because it would be nice to be able to, like, have something completed. But yeah, this is a great world. I don't know anything about Peaky Blinders, which I guess is what it's compared to, but I don't care. The story is cool. It's not like anything I've read before, which is always nice. And there's a couple things I want more information on, but I think that's like going to keep on coming as we read more. So I'm going to go read until I have to go to class, and then I'm going to go to class, and then I'm going to read more. I think the next time I see you will be when I finish the book, and I am excited to share all my final thoughts. I have finished House of Bane and Blood, and holy crap, Batman. I don't even remember what my last update was, because so much happened in the last like 10 to 15% of that book that my mind is like a running hamster wheel with like a hamster that has had like 27 Alanis and can't stop moving. I am obsessed with how this ended. And I know it's a duology, so I didn't expect like everything to be tied up in a nice, neat little bow. But holy crap. Like, the epilogue of that, like, I want to pick up book 2 right now. I'm not going to, because like I need to read other things, unfortunately. But I definitely think book 2 will be either on another PBR thing, whatever reading list this month, or I am going to guarantee that it gets on for October. But oh my god. Like finding oh my I just yeah. I can't like say all of my feelings without revealing spoilers. But there was this whole like really cool scene on a train, and it was just so cool and so twists and emotions and wow. I am an incoherent mess right now, and I apologize for the quality that is this vlog clip. I yeah, we I can see now why everybody wanted me to read this book, because it is so fun, so well written, and once I finally understood all of the things, it made a lot more sense and held my attention a lot more. I essentially read it in 3 days once I actually sat down and focused on reading and I had that deadline. But here we are. That's the note we're ending on. What a way to end. Me just unhinged, rambling, happy all y'all. Um, okay, let me pull my life together into outro mode, because that was the last book of the vlog. And what a high. Like, this, I think, no, Serpent was pretty good. I've been working on this vlog for a month now. But this was definitely either the best or second best book of the 4 that I read. I enjoyed every single one, but this one definitely ticked some boxes. This also clears off, not to combine all the things, but this completed Objective 1 for the Readathon Rebellion, which is a book with 2 or more points of view. So, yay me. But okay, focusing in. Thank you for staying tuned to this very long vlog, this very unhinged at the end vlog. And I hope you had a blast, and I will be back with more because I am enjoying making content, apparently. That's a thing I do now. But if you are here and not feeling chatty, leave a snake emoji in the comments below for Camilla's Familiar and House of Bane and Blood. And also, what is a great book that you've read on Kindle Unlimited lately? Because in all my time working on this, I forgot that it had a theme. So let me know what you're reading on Kindle Unlimited and if you think I should check it out. And I'll see you next time. Happy Time Zone.